So you want to, and then you're not going very far. And then you got to turn. And you got to let that brush come behind. You know, you can't, this thing's got to turn. And this whole thing is like turning to the right, turning to the right, turning to the right, turning to the right, turning to the right. This whole thing is like a sword. You know, I got my wrist a little where I can make a turn. I'm getting ready to turn, and my wrist is where I can make a turn. And then I got a little straightaway, short straightaway, and then but look at my brush, you know, I've already ruined my brush. I've already destroyed what's good in life. It's because I pressed too hard too early, you know. You gotta be careful. You don't over press your brush, then you can't make a stroke. So you don't want to press too hard. You don't want to press too hard. You want to turn right. Go up to the top. There's a little, that's a very tricky point. If you're practicing, you can get that. But you can forget it too, you know. If you're not practicing all the time, you know, you're not going to get it every time. It doesn't matter if you get it or not, but it's possible to get that. I'm not saying that's the #1 goal here, but I think, you know, at the end, why not make it look like a stroke, you know? It's not the #1 goal, but somewhere down there, you're trying to learn something, trying to progress, it's not that hard to accomplish this. It's not that hard. This, you're going to work for, you're going to work so hard to get this, but it's doable. You can do that. And why not? But it's very tricky. It's very tricky. It's all about, you know, not wrecking your brush, not pressing too hard, you know, letting go. And there's a little, I don't know, I can't remember how to do it. I used to know how to kind of do it, but it's just a little, it might have to, I don't know. It's like you're getting your bristles back together. There's just a little something that can happen. You just gotta, it just kind of evolves if you work at it. I don't think it's teachable. So then this is where I think a lot of people go wrong, and maybe I can help you here. Or maybe you just like to do it your way, that's fine, you know. So it's press and press violently, but what you need to understand is you press with your fist, you press your little finger. You kill those enemies with this. Not by smashing your brush so that it's no longer possible to execute a stroke with that brush. The brush needs to maintain its integrity. So you press and press violently, but it's with the little finger and that's, you know, but you don't go too far that way. You don't press too hard that way. You press as hard as possibly for the brush and its nature, but you don't go beyond the nature of the brush where it can bounce back, you know. I don't know, it's a little tricky. But you just work with it. Trust me, try it. Try pressing like that. It's way more satisfying than destroying your brush. And it's gonna work out better for you at the end too, man. You got no chance at the end. So, anyway. And there's steadiness, you know. It's not just the pressing and the violence, it's the real steadiness, you know. And then the last part is real magical. But still we're turning to the right. There's still cutting to the right. You know, he calls this the right, so I guess it is the right. But if you killed your brush, you're dead, you know. And making this part is like, I don't know, I never, just out of pure luck once in 100 times. I never really learned that one. It's magic, but it's magic. Who cares if you got it wrong? Who cares? It doesn't matter. It's not about getting it right, really. But it's possible to execute something that is just beyond belief. I don't know, it's hard to, it's not that much to say in a way. But the main point is you're always turned to the right. So you're always like collecting yourself and get ready for the next right-hand turn. Collecting yourself. This is not totally a right-hand turn, but it's a little tricky little right-hand turn, and it's all about the pressure, and it's got a little left in it. Very subtle, very subtle. And then down, 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 and then this unbelievably powerful and profound letting go. But it's also you need a little something here to go right. You know, you can't get too over here because you're working your behind off, but you got to save a little something to go right here. You got to save a little something, or collect a little something, moves a little, and then there's probably a few more things I could say, you know, if I'd really been thinking about it a lot, but there's not a ton to say, honestly. Main point is you don't just smash that brush down. Main point is you're executing this virtuous spiral. You're trying to turn the whole universe toward virtue and a virtuous spiral. So everything you're doing is, you know, the mother lineage, the father lineage, warrior lineage, everything. You know, it's pretty easy to lose it a little bit this way. You know, you got to kind of keep it, you don't want to lose it that way, but it's easy to, just a little easy to get to a place where you're completely stuck here. Somehow you got to leave a little room, leave a little room. You know, I don't know. Probably makes no sense whatsoever, but maybe I'll help you, maybe it won't. If it doesn't, forget about it. If it helps you, then it's good.